I don't know. I don't know who would live in this god awful place of Arby's and industrial wasteland type post apocalyptic Fallout 6 buildings. Cue the intro. All right, so Gombe can do solo podcasts, so obviously I can too. I'm talking about my recent trip to Colorado, which I'm not referencing Colorado. I'm referencing the awful place, and for which I had to travel through to get to where I am currently at, which is Castle Rock, Colorado, which is a beautiful town. I'm talking about a little town called Wichita, which is found in Kansas. I don't think I have been to a town that has elicited such a visceral hatred for an area, much like Wichita, Kansas. First off, I was traveling Sunday on my 12-hour drive to Colorado. About mid-morning, I was making my way through Wichita, and I thought I would stop at one of the local CVS. Now, I don't know if you're a CVS fan or if you're a Walgreens fan. I tend to lean more towards CVS. I was just going to give me a bottle of water. I was going to use the bathroom, buy me some stuff for the road. This CVS, now, listen, I don't know where y'all are from, but where I'm from, CVS is a halfway respectable place. It's pretty decent. It's not great. But either way, this CVS very suspiciously had a out of order sign on both of their bathrooms. So that was odd. But nonetheless, I thought, well, I'll just drive down the road. Surely there's a Walgreens. There's always a Walgreens. They put those things right next door to each other. Drive down the road. This is a Sunday morning. This Walgreens looks deserted. I wasn't sure if it was even open. There were no lights on. And all of a sudden, while I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going into this place, an individual come riding an electric scooter. Not one of the rascal slick scooters like elderly people use, but like an actual electric scooter, like the ones that you rent in big cities, out of the store. He didn't park it on the outside and hop on it. He come riding out of the store as if he was riding it around inside the Walgreens. So I didn't go to that Walgreens. I just went about my business. And I was going to stop, just drive through somewhere. And as I'm looking for a place to eat, I couldn't help but notice that across the street, there was a Burger King. Right next door was an Arby's. Again, not sure of your thoughts on Arby's, but they've taken a lot of heat here lately. But apparently, Arby's, when it comes to Kansas and Wichita, it's fairly popular. So much so that the Burger King was out of business. But the Arby's right next to it looked like it was just booming. What kind of people let the Burger King go out of business, but will support Arby's? On my way out of town, I noticed that there was also a gas station that traditionally, gas stations sometimes will team up with a franchise. They'll be like a Love's and a Subway or something of that nature. This had some random gas station and an Arby's. Who wants to eat Arby's at a gas station, much less anywhere else? So I stopped at, I briefly stopped at my dining destination, which was going to be one of the few places I could find Cracker Barrel. It's 11:30 a.m. on a Sunday. I expected the Cracker Barrel to be partially empty because I assumed it's a Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. Everybody's going to be at church or something. No, there was a line. It was like a 45-minute wait. All the rocking chairs were full. Who are these godless heathens in Wichita that are at the Cracker Barrel at 11:30 a.m. in the morning? So I left. I just went about my business and drove out of this town, which was Wichita. Now, I'm open to the idea that perhaps I just had a bad experience and that there might be something good about Wichita. there were some sights and sounds around the area. I did notice that finally, as you drive through the various fields of nothing north of Wichita, you come to a small town of Hessen, I believe it was. Yeah, Hessen, I think. And they purported as their big tourist attraction the Dick Arboretum. Yes, they have their own arboretum there, named after a fellow named Dick, D-Y-C-K. You can look it up. And like any good business, it was closed that Sunday morning because no doubt there at the Dick Arboretum, they figure that after working their employees, long and hard, that they will let them have Sunday off. But at last, if you were just traveling through at a different time, you could go to this same arboretum and see the various woods and trees and so forth. That was the only attraction for which I saw in the surrounding area that was the wasteland that was Kansas. There were random buildings out that you could see across the way that no doubt were some sort of agricultural buildings, like massive grain silos or things of that. I don't even know what they were. They looked like something out of Fallout. It was just an insane trip. And the boredom that set in, like grain elevator looking things, the boredom that set in as I left Wichita and then proceeded to drive for what felt like, no, it was 500 miles onward to get to Denver. There is nothing to see. There's nothing to see. I almost fell asleep driving. Anyways, so if you're a listener and you are from the Wichita area, please send me an email at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. Or if you're from Kansas, let me know what there is to do in Kansas, because this is like the third time I've been through your state, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. It's incredibly boring. Please let me know if there's something else going on in Kansas that I just don't know about, because I'm not seeing it. You about broke me on my trip to what to didn't have this dichotomy of the nothingness that was all these hundreds of miles of Kansas, to be here in Castle Rock and it be such a beautiful place. So anyways, I don't get it. I figured Gabi could rant about stuff. I could get on here and rant about stuff too. Either way, my hatred for Kansas stands. Please change my mind. Send me an email. What else am I doing up here? Oh, I'm working right now. And for some reason I decided I'm going to call Gabi and let him know, hey, I'm going to shoot an episode. Not an actual episode. Just me ranting to keep me sane while I'm up here working for the week. Up here in the Denver area. And, who knows? I might do another one of these. I don't know if people like these. I don't like them. But I do listen to it when Gabi rambles. So perhaps now the tables have turned. I did bring with me on my trip both Brink and Nemesis. Retribution? Redemption? What is it called? Retaliation? Yeah. It's going to punch those and kind of read over the rules. Kind of get ready for the Dice Tower retreat. See if that's something that might be viable. Anyways, I'll holler at you later. I just thought this would be something, just a warning, a brief PSA to avoid Kansas until they figure out what they're going to do with this state. And if I'm wrong, like I said, send me an email. I'll go by. I got to go back this weekend. I got to drive through the godforsaken place. Actually, I'm probably not going to drive back through to Kansas. I'm going to detour and go south from here and figure out a way to avoid that state entirely. Go down to Amarillo by morning. And there you go. That's it. I hate Wichita so much that I felt the need to say it online for people to be enraged about. Thank you.